actually wrong. Oh, also, we're going to talk about the Nashville Christian school shooter was a former student, the police chief says. And also, Audrey Hale was a AFAB, assigned female at birth, trans man, it seems. But of course, because this is a breaking news story, obviously everyone is like misgendering him, and you know, like there's a lot of confusion and chaos in general. And then the perpetrator being trans makes things even more complicated. So why they got to do that? I'm pretty sure this isn't deliberate. Okay? Like that's not, I don't think that was deliberate. It's breaking news. Also, for a lot of transphobic people, trans men don't even like exist. It's not even in their like periphery, so they're like always shocked. So this will further brick everyone's brains. Most people don't even understand that, like, you know, like trans men are a thing. Please stop using AFAB and AMAB as transphobia in different terms. Wait, what am I supposed to use? Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what? I thought that was the woke lexicon. Since when did that change? No, you're changing too fast. I want to hear, no. Go back to the forest, okay? I don't know what the patch notes are. Go back to the forest, okay? You can't do a hot fix like that in real time and then expect me to know the latest, okay? No. Go back to the forest and do the trans council, the elderly council of trans needs to congregate and then come out with a press release. Okay, I'm pretty sure I was using the most woke, latest terminology. Some anti-trans people are using it shittily is all basically. Yeah, what the fuck? We got some trans council members in the chat right now, and they are correcting you. You are wrong. It's fine if you use AFAB, AMAB. People just prefer using trans mask and trans fam, but AFAB, AMAB are useful for explaining this to cis people. It can be used bad sometimes. So when did that happen? I don't even know. The AMAB AFAB convo has been going on since like 2017, but like most trans people still use AFAB AMAB. Yeah, I can't. You're not a doctor, don't use it. Okay, well, you're fucking annoying, okay? Shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ. This is insane. Okay, stop. We're not even doing that. I'm not going to dunk on one random chatter and all this shit. It's time to sit your cis ass down and learn. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's like, oh, okay. What is this? Every fucking day. This is why they said that, by the way. Every fucking day on here, I see people who reduce AFAB non-binary people to their AGAB and basically wink, wink, nudge, nudge their way into saying AFAB non-binary people are just really women. Am I right, folks? This person did nothing wrong and his husband is supportive. What the fuck? Wait, what? I don't know what No. This is too much. It says 977 likes. This is not making it out the trans elderly council. It's not. This is being vetoed, okay? It's literally being vetoed as we speak. No. We're not doing like, no, stop. We're not doing like fucking, like unnecessary trans discourse in trans Twitter that is like constantly fighting one another. We're not doing that. This is not that space, okay? This is a space where this is a space led by a cishet, okay? With a lot of cishet people in here. You're gonna scare the hoes, okay? Don't do it. Don't scare all the hoes. This isn't Tumblr. this is not happening. We're not having this discussion right now. Okay. Contextually speaking, don't bring up non-queer reviewed, peer reviewed strategies and terminology. Okay. I don't even know what AGAB is, so I don't even want to know. Okay. Like, there were letters in there that I don't even understand. Okay. Yes. Queer reviewed terminology only. Okay. No, we're not doing it. Okay. Assigned gay at birth? No. Oh, AGAB is just assigned gender. Okay. Assigned gender at birth. Okay. We learned a new term. I'm a trans woman on HRT and my ass doesn't know what the fuck that is. See? Patch notes. You haven't gotten it yet. That's what it is. Okay. So, as I was saying, like, I can't believe this is what the conversation has turned into. New leftist discourse topics are my favorite part of the broadcast. Yeah. There's no way to like describe this to a broader population without, like, we're literally talking about a breaking news mass shooting school shooting that just happened, and the perpetrator is trans. The perpetrator has been misgendered as a woman the entire time. Transphobic people are literally using this to say, like, look, because they don't understand. They think, like, there are only trans women, no trans men, right? So, like, in their baby brains, they literally are thinking, like, oh, yeah, here it is, another man that did a shooting, okay? When, in fact, it was, like, the transphobes are correctly gendering the trans man, thinking that they're misgendering the trans man. There's no way to describe that without using terminology such as AFAB or AMAB. Assigned female at birth, assigned male at birth. This was an assigned female at birth trans man, okay? From what I understand, there was a manifesto as well involved in this. But I can't see it because I have to register to the Independent. So I'm not going to do that, obviously. Get the fuck out of here, Independent. But bro, I have lost the plot. Anyone over 60 would listen to this and die. Yeah, basically what people are saying is, like, this is a transgender woman, which is ironically, like, misgendering the trans person. And I don't think Fox News and everyone else is actually deliberately misgendering them. I think they think that they are misgendering the trans man by saying this is a trans woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of these professional news outlets have a policy not to misgender, regardless of how right-wing they are. I'm talking like legacy publishers will actually never misgender deliberately. So what's going on currently is they think they're being, like, quote-unquote woke, right? While simultaneously misgendering the person. But of course, that is mostly because trans men are invisible to most transphobes. Yes, exactly. Now, of course, yes, from what I understand, the name of the perpetrator, the name of the shooter has been released, and immediately people started digging in. The shooter was Audrey Hale, but I think this is a dead name. I don't know what his actual what his his name is. Might have been Aiden Hale. Okay. So all of these articles right now, given the fact that this is a developing news story, all of these articles are going to have incorrect information and a lot of dead naming and misgendering going on. Okay? I think you're misunderstanding the not a man thing. They're saying that they as a trans man are not a man and they actually are a woman, not accidentally saying anything. No. The thing is, no, I don't agree with that. Fox News does a metric ton of anti-trans propaganda. We cover it regularly. A lot of these news outlets actually have a style guide that they hold on to, that they literally will go by. And even Fox News' style guide will not deliberately misgender someone. Remember, we talked about this a long time ago. I do think that this is actually I do think that this is probably an unintentional misgendering, just like NBC News is unintentionally misgendering this person. Now, Fox News' news coverage style guide is very different than Tucker, obviously. Tucker Carlson deliberately misgenders people all the time. Does that make sense? Do you understand what's going on? For Philip DeFranco to misgender the shooter, for Philip DeFranco to misgender the shooter, like he didn't do it on purpose. Does that make sense? Like a lot of outlets are not intentionally misgendering the shooter. Not that this part of the process matters all that much. Obviously, I'm not going to misgender someone once I know that they're trans, but because I'm not interested in shitting on trans people. This doesn't have anything to do with trans people in general. This is one specific trans man. This person killed kids, and this is our argument. Exactly. This is like irrelevant to the subject matter. Obviously, I'm just trying to clarify it so that everybody understands what the actual facts of the matter is. Okay? I'm giving you advice on media literacy. I'm giving you advice on how the media operates. And I'm telling you this before we move on to the real matter at hand, which is, of course, the fact that guns are easily accessible, readily available for everyone, regardless of what their gender status is in the United States of America. Okay? So, yeah. Also, on top of that, I mean, yeah, he is still a psychopath, okay? Doesn't matter. He's still a fucking, freak. Like, that's it. It's completely irrelevant to the gender status of the particular individual. He is a fucking murderer, a mass murderer, a school shooter. Okay, so remember that. And having said that, no, bro, what the fuck it matters? Why would you handwave chatters calling a black shooter racial slurs just because he killed kids? Chatters need to use their fucking heads and stop letting out their internalized transphobia. No, we're not allowing that to happen. But you also have to, again, remember that is, I'm in the process of explaining that is like not acceptable. That's not what I'm doing. And we're moving on to the main point of contention. Okay? This is not happening. You're hyper-focusing and lasering in on an issue, and I am afraid that you are not seeing the larger picture here, which is that inevitably this will be, just like anything else, weaponized against the trans community. This person's gender is completely irrelevant in this conversation. Okay? And if you hyper-focus on it as a trans person or as a trans ally, you are lending credence to the psychotic right-wingers that will then turn around and say things like, oh, look, all they care about, all these trans people care about is the gender of the shooter. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't do that. Especially because this will be utilized towards trans people as though like all trans men and all trans women are going around doing mass shootings. Okay? Every single shooting leading up to this one over the past couple of years, every single shooting that occurred in mainstream media, that was covered in mainstream media, the right immediately said, this is a trans person. This is a trans person. This is a trans person. Finally, there is a shooting where it is actually a trans person that did the shooting. So now the right basically got their wish. Okay? So there's two different situations at play here. The main issue, obviously, is more dead children and more dead teachers and faculty staff in a nation where this seems to be commonplace. That's the number one issue. Okay? The secondary issue on top of that is that this will be weaponized against trans people, as though trans people are doing this all the fucking time. Okay? This is the United States of America. In the United States of America, everyone has the opportunity to purchase a weapon. Okay? Here it is. Here's some great examples of people that are literally getting so horny that they don't even care about the fucking victims. They don't even care about the situation at hand. They've already jumped the gun. They put the cart before the horse, and now they're immediately shitting on trans people in general. Conduct yourself, if you're a trans person, conduct yourself in this moment with the utmost scrutiny and you know, be as deliberate and as careful as you can if you're going to be a trans person online right now, because the other side is going fucking crazy. Okay? They've jumped the gun and they're looking like unhinged fucking freaks. Colorado Springs shooter identified as non-binary. The Denver shooter identified as trans. The Aberdeen shooter identified as trans. Nashville shooter identified as trans. One thing is very clear. Modern trans movement is radicalizing activists into terrorists. Insane. Not real. This tweet is not accurate. I think with the exception of the Denver shooter, who I don't know if it was if they were trans or not. I don't fucking know. But I think the Denver shooter actually killed their trans sister in the Denver shooting. Okay? But of course, this is the United States of America. There's a mass shooting pretty much every fucking day in this country. There are going to be some mass shooters that are trans. There are going to be mass shooters that aren't exclusively just, cishet white men. This is going to happen. Okay? It's going to happen. They're going to hyper-focus on them. They're going to hyper-focus on this to make it seem like trans people are doing an unimaginable amount of mass shootings or some shit like that. Okay? So just remember that. 52 minutes, 20,000 likes. Yeah, he's a freak. Juniper has a tweet on the matter. 15 years ago, anytime there was any shooting, they would blame it on Muslims. And if it were a Muslim, they would go hog wild trying to indict all Muslims. They're doing that right now with the Nashville shooting, and will try to indict all trans people. Just don't engage. See a Matt Walsh take that's incredibly aggravating? Ignore it. See a politician tweet misgendering the shooter while simultaneously trying to blame all trans people? Ignore it. Anyone with a brain and a shred of empathy will see right-wingers as the psychopaths they are. A lot of trans people are rightfully scared of the world right now. People hate us without knowing us and how amazing we are. Just know that you are loved and we will win. The world cannot hate us forever. Yeah. Exactly. Juniper put into words what I've been trying to say in a much better way. Okay? Know what you're saying, but can you please not call them a freak? There's so many things against us right now. I don't like the idea of just completely shitting on him. What do you mean? Yes, I'm going to completely shit on a school shooter because this is a school shooter, not a trans school shooter, but a school shooter. He murdered children at a school. Don't give your enemies further ammo. You are the one who is trying to apply additional empathy to a school shooter, and you are the one who is bringing up the the trans status of a school shooter, making it seem like you are shielding someone who has killed kids. Don't do that. Okay? That's it. Anyway, this is basically how it works when there's like one story. Like the American conservative movement now basically revolves around constantly and consistently claiming that all trans people and all queer people in general are pedophiles, right? This is a big part of like modern day American conservatism. Every now and then, there is going to be a pedophile who happens to be trans. Okay? And they jump on that all the fucking time and immediately say, see, we were right. Meanwhile, the overwhelming majority is still cishet men, white men in particular. Okay? There's no reason to look at a situation like that where there's, let's say, a pedophile who happens to be trans doing an incredibly cruel, inhumane, and very illegal thing. Okay? There's no reason to look at that situation, that individual situation that is like hyper specific and happens like once every fucking 100 years or whatever. Maybe not that infrequently, but still, okay? There's no reason to look at that situation and try to defend that person because that person is doing something indefensible. Do you understand? It is a singular anecdote in a sea of data that points in a different direction. There is no reason for you to ever look at a person like that, okay, and then try to, try to even come across with like a ounce of empathy when all these motherfuckers have always done is just blame trans people in general. Okay? They're just doing the same cherry picking they always do. It's the same as when the right also craft a similar narrative towards undocumented immigrants in this country. There are 10 million, and that's a conservative estimate, undocumented immigrants in this country. Undocumented immigrants are statistically less likely to engage in any matter of crime in comparison to natural-born U.S. citizens. But every time the right cuts propaganda about undocumented immigrants, they always say immigrants are rapists, murderers, they're bloodthirsty, they're drug dealers. This is not the reality. This is objectively false. You're covering trans mention longer than a racist Israeli dude, I believe, feels like a problem. Yeah, I think it feels like a problem to you because you're a fucking freak. Because I am not covering the trans mention longer than the racist Israel dude. I have talked about Israel extensively for like almost an hour and a half, if not 2 hours today. I have talked about this issue for like, I believe, this part of the issue, specifically the transness, okay, for I probably like the past 15 minutes, okay? And the reason why you think that the 15 minutes is longer than the 2 hours I covered it is because you have an issue with that coverage. Why do people think they can police their own fucking broadcast? Because they think a subscription offers them more than just avoiding the top of the hour ad break. They think that when they subscribe, or not even, when they chat and they watch an ad at the top of the hour for 3 minutes, that they think they have ownership over the broadcast. And in some respects, there is a bit of that.